Hey guys. All right, so the video down below is from the AP. This is a short clip of Andrew Yang at one of his campaign events or office opening ceremony, whichever it is. It's pretty irrelevant. Andrew Yang comes out with a bottle of whipped cream, or a can of whipped cream rather, and ends up spraying it in a couple of his supporters' mouths. Now, I was thinking about that this is almost the perfect analogy for what he's offering to us. He's basically saying, get on your knees and accept this $1,000 a month that I have for you. Now, I just want to go ahead and respond to a couple comments that were left in my previous video. Admittedly, that probably wasn't the most articulate video I've done. And just as a little aside here, I often get very dirty looks in my neighborhood based off what I'm talking about. So whenever you talk bad about the Democrats here in Santa Cruz, people tend to give you the stink eye. And it doesn't even matter if you're part of the Jimmy Dore crowd, you're still going to get people jumping down your throat. So I had somebody give me a pretty nasty look, and I was pretty intimidated by the guy. I was like, so I kind of lost a little bit of my footing there. Anyways, I've gotten this comment a lot from people that are responding to my videos about Andrew Yang, but a lot of them are saying, well, you really should check out his podcast with Joe Rogan, and you should check out, some of his more lengthy interviews. Now, I just want to go ahead and say that I could go ahead and say the same thing to you guys. Like keep in mind, I'm not trying to change your guys' mind in terms of supporting Trump. Like, if I were trying to do that, I would probably say, well, why don't you just go watch one of his rallies on Right Side Broadcasting Network and let me know what you think. Because I think that's the way he transmits to his own core base in terms of what he has to offer. And he's a lot more inarticulate than I think most of the candidates, but at the same time, it works for him, and I think that's actually something that adds to his appeal. I'm kind of losing my voice here. So why would I waste my time? And you say the same thing about watching a Donald Trump rally. You're not going to waste your time doing that because your mind is already set on your candidate. A lot of the people that are commenting on my videos are saying, well, why don't you just give him a chance, give him a shot because he has such great ideas. Well, I don't really like his ideas. And like I said, that $1,000 a month is going to come from something else. It's going to come from somebody else's pocket, when in reality, it should be in the form of tax cuts. It should really be all the money that's being taken out of my paycheck via the income tax or any other stupid tax that we have put in place. I mean, there's just a number of taxes that we ultimately have to suffer with. Sales tax, income tax, those are two of the biggest things, I think. So I'm not going to waste my time watching a lengthy Andrew Yang interview because my mind is already set. I know who my candidate is. I'm going to vote for Trump in 2020. I didn't vote for him in 2016. I voted for Hillary, and I've really liked what I have liked what I've seen. So I don't really know what else to tell you guys other than he's your candidate. Then go ahead and may the best man win, so to speak. I have a sneaking suspicion, however, that a lot of the people that are commenting on my video regarding Andrew Yang are actual employees or volunteers of the Andrew Yang campaign. Now, it's not too far-fetched of an idea, where you get a lot of people, volunteering for his campaign that are going to actively shill for him online, anonymously, of course, because they don't want to blow their cover. And maybe his ideas suck so much that you guys need to essentially ratio videos like mine. I'm a lowly content creator. I'm a very humble meme farmer, so to speak. And yet my Andrew Yang videos are the ones that get the most engagement, which is pretty shocking, because there is a lot more to this channel than Andrew Yang. But I do think it's funny that there is such great there's such great reaction from it. And I don't think that the same thing would have happened if this was back in 2016 and I were talking negatively about Trump and saying like, "Oh, he's a Russian puppet," or just the same old smears. And you guys probably think that I'm using the same old tired smears against Andrew Yang. Well, he's a communist, he's a socialist. It's just redistribution of wealth repackaged into a more nuanced idea that is kind of meant to fool more gullible people into thinking that it isn't what I've just listed, which I think it is. I'm not really buying the whole, he's a smart Asian, he's really good at math. Oh, like that's going to make me like his bad ideas even more. I don't think so. And the rest of America most likely agrees with me. I'm not saying they all like Trump, but they probably don't buy into what Yang is doing. So, I think that if the shoe was on the other foot, going back to my other point, if the shoe was on the other foot, if I was talking negatively about Trump back in 16 or 15, I wouldn't have gotten this type of engagement because I am not a well-known content creator. But when you have guys like Casey Neistat come out and say, "Hillary Clinton, I will be voting for Hillary Clinton," he's a well-known content creator. I think he's got at least 1 million subscribers, if I'm not mistaken, and he did get heavily ratioed there. There's a lot, and there, the video was kind of turned into a meme after that. I think that kind of saved face for him a little bit. But I'm sitting at a little over 200 subscribers. Why would I be on the map if I'm making a video about Andrew Yang? So I think that what Andrew Yang's campaign is doing here is that he's getting all these volunteers to basically hop on their laptops or their smartphones and to look for videos that are speaking either positively or negatively about Yang. Because the ones that they're speaking positively about, which I have done before, I said, my thoughts on Andrew Yang and then UBI. I stated this very clearly, that I would only be okay with Americans getting $1,000 a month in the form of tax cuts, but we all know that wouldn't last very long. I mean, that would last for, I'm not going to do the math, but my gut tells me, a couple of years at most. And then we would have to look at our government and say, okay, well, we've cut spending. We have put all of that money that wasn't spent back into the hands of our pockets of the American people. Now what are we going to do? Because I don't see how this $1,000 a month program is going to be very sustainable over a long period of time because of inflation. Now, if you're okay with inflation, then you clearly don't have respect for our own currency. That's one thing I do know about economics, is that when you have more of something, it becomes less valuable. And when you look at the value of the dollar, looking back, I don't know, let's say 100 years, a dollar could have bought a lot more back then. And that's what we need to get back to. Because the way we have our financial system set up right now is very detrimental to the American people. What's going to happen is inflation is just going to continue to rise, and eventually that's going to affect our own income, because our income, it's going to stay the same, but we're not going to be able to afford things because prices are going to go up as inflation goes up. And then that's how the government enslaves its people, with the help of the banks, of course. Because we all know that's what the master plan is all about, enslaving the people via debt. So I just don't see Andrew Yang's program being very effective. I got to be honest with you guys, and I find his whole spiel a little repulsive. I mean, he comes out and he says, "Oh, I'm a smart Asian guy who knows math." I mean, I'm not trying to be politically correct here, but it just doesn't come off all that endearing. The average American that hears that might think that's kind of pompous coming out of somebody's mouth like him, because let's face it, most Americans aren't as educated as Andrew Yang, and I'm sure his base would love me saying that, but it's probably true. I mean, the guy's a smart guy, but his ideas suck. And I think when people hear his ideas, they're not willing to go out and listen to a podcast of his with Joe Rogan or with Jimmy Dore, or any of his interviews on CNN or Fox News or whatever. I think he's been on MSNBC. I don't know. Please fact check me on that. But I'll just say this in closing. I don't like Andrew Yang. I think that his recent stunt with the whipped cream was pretty strange. Like I had somebody comment and say, "Well, oh, you saying it's kind of homoerotic? You got your mind in the gutter." Probably, probably. I'm a Scorpio. I'll admit it. My mind is in the gutter most of the time. But just you have to use your common sense here. Him with grown men on their knees, taking whipped cream shots into their mouth. It's kind of gay, and I think most Americans would probably agree with me. And it's fine. You guys can have your own little cult and your own little, meme campaign, but just don't be butthurt when the rest of America doesn't want to get um, onto your level, so to speak, or onto the Yang Gang train or whatever the fuck it's called. Pardon my French. And I also want to say this too. A lot of people who are commenting on my Andrew Yang videos clearly aren't listening to what I'm saying because I did a video about Andrew Yang several months back, and I talked about how he was one of the Democrats who rose his hand during the debates for who would be in favor of providing health insurance or health care or whatever to illegal immigrants. He rose his hand there, and it was caught on tape. I mean, you can't dismiss that at all. And then I had somebody say on that same video, "Oh, you're saying that Andrew Yang is going to give UBI to illegal immigrants. You're wrong there." It's like I never said that. So you're basically putting words in my mouth. And if I can remember what the comment was, saying that somebody said in my previous video, "Oh, you're saying that him spraying whipped cream into a man's mouth is socialism. That's wrong. It's part of New Hampshire office opening tradition." It's like I never said that. I never said that spraying whipped cream into somebody's mouth is socialism. I just said it was pretty gay. That's all. So you guys just really, and I said this too. It's like I don't know if English is your first language, but you guys really got to listen to what I'm saying. But I got to tell you, I'm not going to listen to what you guys got to say, and I'm not really going to listen to what Andrew Yang has to say. So you guys can leave all the comments that you want. "Oh, you're stupid. You need free college." I've gotten that comment plenty of times um, from you guys. And him crying over gun violence, like, "Oh, you're such a cruel man if you can't feel moved by a grown man's tears." It's like, well, most Americans won't feel that way. Could you imagine if Donald Trump broke down in tears? That would be kind of a devastating moment for him. In fact, a lot of his own base would lose a lot of respect for him. So I don't know where you guys are coming from with this, and quite frankly, I think it's not going to end well for you guys. Andrew Yang is not going to get the nomination. He's not going to go anywhere in politics. And if he were to become in power, I think all of the ideas that you're preaching for would probably not work out in your favor. You would end up being more of a slave to the government, which is what we're trying to get away from, hopefully. If that's the goal that you want, then that's great. If you want more government control, that says a lot about your character and not a good thing either. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless. I'll see you later.